Tesla stock today rocketed on good news. It's up about 8%. And if you like seeing that, make sure to click the like button right now. But why is it up so much? Is it because the Xiaomi CEO just kept it real by saying that Xiaomi is 5 to 10 years behind Tesla, the ultimate benchmark for EVs? I mean, this is basically a capitulation of Tesla's competition. Of course, competitors admitting that Tesla is dominating definitely helps Tesla stock, but the main reason why Tesla stock is up so much today is because everything is up. And everything is up because, I believe, due to a good inflation report. Also, Wall Street likes strong bank earnings. And just overall, I also agree with Prasad in this case. We are starting to get early data that Trump will be good for world peace and financial markets. The markets are up today. Pair this with deregulation and AI, and we have the necessary ingredients for explosive growth in the US, from which Tesla, of course, will benefit greatly. No better time to be an entrepreneur than now. It's time to take risks and make some money. Another reason for the markets being up could be this new ceasefire agreement in the Middle East. However, this is important to know, although I don't think it's likely to happen. Trump's nominee to head the US Transportation Department said just now that EVs should pay to use roads. Most revenue, if you didn't know, for federally funded road repairs is collected through taxes on diesel and gasoline. But of course, EVs don't pay for gasoline or diesel taxes because they don't need gasoline. So what if we paid taxes for tires instead of fuel? Wouldn't that be a little bit better? But one problem with that is you don't change your tires every single week, but you do need to fill up pretty much every single week if you drive your gasoline vehicle. Also, the US tire market is $69 billion per year, and the US gasoline market is substantially bigger in terms of revenue than the tire market. So to make up for that lost tax, the tires would be substantially more expensive. Whereas when people put just a little bit of gasoline in their cars each time, they don't really notice the difference as much. I'm not saying don't tax tires, I'm just saying it's a bit tricky to make this work. And here's some definitely good news. Elon Musk will have office space in the White House. His office will be in the Eisenhower Executive Office building right next to the West Wing that houses the bulk of office space for White House staffers. This is not 100% confirmed as of right now, but this checks out. However, discussions between Musk, his team, and transition officials are ongoing to determine his access to President-elect Trump following the inauguration. And final plans right now have yet to be confirmed, as typically special passes are required for unrestricted access to the West Wing. Also, Elon just commented earlier that we'll aim for $2 trillion in cuts, but I think $1 trillion is a solid outcome. So they will be aiming for 1 trillion as a realistic goal. And the Doge team has already been partially built. Currently, there are 50 people that will be part of the team, and it's expected that the team will have eventually 100 staff members. Later, it may actually get bigger, but this is the number that should be reached by the inauguration. They recruited people from the IRS, the Treasury Department, Department of Veterans Affairs, Homeland Security, and Health and Human Services. And I imagine anyone that they find who is competent and who is willing to do the job. So what is extremely clear from all of this is that Elon Musk will definitely have a very active role in the government, and that he will be closely working with Trump as well. Because after all, he will be in the White House. And probably he will have that clearance and he will be able to talk to Trump basically whenever he wants. Thorne is back with another bullish post about Tesla. Tesla's positioned to lead the AI revolution, emphasizing autonomy and robotics with a target of a $2 trillion market cap by 2025. As we climb the wall of worry, reallocating capital in the evolving AI boom to capitalize on emerging opportunities is the dominant investment strategy. The era of big government is coming to an end. Yes, by the dip, he says, but today the markets roared. However, he posted this yesterday, so those who bought are up big today. As far as people that manage tens of billions of dollars, James Thorne is probably one of the most bullish people out there. And now, this is a bit of a bombshell, really, and many will not have expected this, but Elon Musk has been talking for a while now about bringing Vine back, which is a video sharing platform which used to allow you to post and watch videos that are maximum 6 seconds long. So it's basically like YouTube Shorts or TikToks, but from many years ago, and he is seriously considering bringing it back. But maybe that is not going to happen because, per Bloomberg, China is considering involving Elon Musk into acquiring TikTok. And the Chinese officials are evaluating this as a potential option because they don't want TikTok to be banned in the US. And it does seem like Elon Musk is able to very successfully navigate the Chinese business environment, and probably the Chinese officials like the idea of that because they already have experience working with Elon, so they likely know what to expect. And also being nice to Elon Musk probably grants them a favor from Trump because obviously Elon supported Trump, and Trump is sort of not indebted to Elon, but there's some appreciation definitely. So if you help a friend of mine, then we would view you a little bit more favorably, of course. I think is also another thing that the Chinese are thinking about. Now, some Tesla stock investors are saying that this is just complete BS, and then later using this statement from TikTok, which refutes Bloomberg's story. They said, "We can't be expected to comment on pure fiction." To which I would say, as someone who lives in North America, I would say it would be a world of pure fiction where we people that live in Canada and the US could fully trust a TikTok representative and not assume that there could be some major lies included in the statement. Or it could simply be that this matter is well above the pay grade of such person, by the way. Now, the thing about this TikTok sale is it would have to be an urgent sale because the deadline is actually January 19th. If there's someone who can get things done fast and quickly, it's Elon Musk. If Elon has any further political ambitions, acquiring TikTok is likely not a bad idea because you could convert one party members to the other party. I can't imagine the meltdown that some of the more extreme liberals would have. I think we will only know for sure what's going on with this potential sale or purchase by Elon Musk after the deadline, or even maybe a little bit after the deadline, because we could ban it, and then if a sale just takes a little bit longer to sort out, temporarily it would be down and then it would be back up as if almost nothing happened. However, there is a real benefit to Tesla if Elon buys TikTok. If the rumor is true that Elon is legitimately discussing to acquire TikTok, I've heard, says Emmett Peppers, that the AI engineers who designed the TikTok algorithms are top notch. I've heard about this too, that the algorithm of TikTok is one of the best ones, if not the best one for making you addicted. And that's one reason why I don't go on TikTok. I occasionally go on YouTube Shorts, and almost always that's not really because I want to, it's because I'm just scrolling down my YouTube feed and I see something that really catches my attention. I click on it, and then 10 minutes later, I'm thinking it's just 2 minutes later, but it's 10 minutes later and I wasted like 10 minutes. But I know many people that have a similar experience, and instead of wasting 10 minutes, they waste 1, 2, 3 hours. I've actually seen it happen in front of my eyes with some people that I know. So if YouTube Shorts is that addicting, I imagine TikTok is even worse than that. However, a lot of the team is actually in China, which he wouldn't be able to acquire, but the people outside of China, he would be able to get them. Farzad did a poll. Elon Musk buying TikTok, is it legit? Only 15% of the people thought it's legit. About half the people thought not legit, and the remaining were not really sure. Now, if Elon Musk needs to sell quite a bit of Tesla stock to buy TikTok, that would present us with a buying opportunity of Tesla stock. And Gary Black does believe that it would happen if Elon does buy it. Gary Black thinks it would be a $40 to $50 billion acquisition, so very similar to Twitter. He also thinks that many institutions would not risk another 67% drawdown, which we saw during or right after the Twitter acquisition. But that whole thing was not due just to Elon buying Twitter. Now, the people that commented on this matter that had insider knowledge, they said that the officials have yet to reach a firm consensus of what to do. So this is just still speculation. There's no order that has been directed by the Chinese officials, at least as of right now. The report also says that it is unclear whether Musk TikTok and ByteDance basically owns TikTok, have held any talks about the terms of any possible deal. Now, in his post, Gary Black says that he was right to predict that the purchase of Twitter would hurt Tesla stock. But then that's only true in the short term. In the long term now, the stock is literally higher. It's above where Tesla stock was before the Twitter acquisition. And so Farzad even said, "What are you smoking, my brother?" I suspect this is not a critique really. It's more of an ask of, can I get some? Now, I don't do any of that stuff, but feel free to do anything you like. But I don't even drink or smoke or do any of that sort of thing. And that's one thing that keeps me sharp. Going back to Tesla news here, Tesla is rolling out a new FSD version for hardware-free owners. There's a wider release right now. I'm gonna check if I got it. Yep, well, here's someone getting it, and that someone is not me. I didn't get it. That new version is supposed to be substantially better, and I am driving a lot on FSD right now, so I'm a bit bummed out. But there's a post from Elon Musk saying this is what exponential improvement looks like. Someone posted FSD v13.2 has improved highway miles between disengagements by 750%. This post is going viral. And I definitely agree with Alex here. He got a new profile picture, by the way, so you may not recognize him at first, but it's the same Alex that I quoted before many times. FSD makes exponential improvements. Every investor who intends to create long-term financial freedom should at least be a little bit invested in Tesla stock. If you don't want to, for political reasons, you should never forget that the vast majority of employees at Tesla do not support Elon's political views, and the company is and remains a driving force in the fight against climate change. Now, there's also another post, but there's a bit of an issue with this second post. And also keep in mind that the FSD community tracker, it does have some issues and some flaws, but specifically referring to this chart, which is a different chart from the one that I just showed you. The first chart, everything checks out in that chart. However, this second chart, and this is the creator of that FSD community tracker, he says, "I'm not sure how you calculated this, but I'm seeing a different result. Also, I don't have this chart on the actual tracker, yet you use the same color scheme and wording to make it appear the same." Now, there's an explanation of how the numbers were calculated in the second chart, but it has some inherent flaws with that methodology, and the creator of that FSD community tracker really doesn't like that second chart. The difference between these two charts, by the way, is the first one is on highways and the second one is city miles. However, there's a clear improvement going from V12 to V13 as illustrated by the community tracker. These are city miles in yellow and overall miles in bluish color. And Omar is on the attack. Reminder that as recently as Q4, FSD bears were claiming that the software wasn't improving. Later that quarter, FSD v13 was released. Some people just don't get tired of being wrong, he said. He's quoting the post from James, saying FSD should be not judged by how well it can drive without an intervention for 100 to 200 miles. It is irrelevant. It should be judged by how much it is improving and how fast it will improve. The evidence suggests not much to the first question and not very to the second, but today that is quite different with the release of V13. And James actually replied to this post saying that calling him an FSD bear is actually fair, so he's taking this well. And James here made another post. Lots of people are quick to dismiss the community FSD tracker, but here we have Elon validating it with that first chart being reposted. So will people also acknowledge the still terrible city miles to critical disengagement number? Omar to that replies, terrible? Name one system that can do better. Also, I use FSD on every single drive, and it's not even V13. I have a hardware 3 Model 3. I don't even have V13. So I don't have V13, but yet it's still so good for me, good enough, that I use it on every long drive and it makes my drives much better. I'm much more relaxed. It's just overall an easier experience and more calming experience. So to me, it's definitely not terrible. I like the experience. And I'm looking forward to trying V13. I went to a Tesla service center earlier and they said that they don't have a single V13 car in Canada. Yeah, this was a little while ago. I'm going to go again and see if I can test drive a vehicle with V13, and maybe I will consider upgrading, although I'm a bit sentimental about my Model 3 because it's one reason why I'm invested in Tesla stock, so it's sort of a bit sentimental to keep it. Every time I get in that car, I'm so happy. And look, something has changed with FSD with V13. This is really happening for the first time on a bigger scale. This is a video at FSD drive of 90 minutes, no interventions. He didn't touch the steering wheel once or the pedals, he says. And before V13, occasionally we would see videos like this. Most of them would be from Omar. I'm talking about videos that would be like an hour drives. And this is not just highway. It actually includes city driving as well, as you can see here in the beginning. Now later, it is largely highway. But it's 1.5 hours in the car. Oh, it actually parked itself. So look, he literally started the drive while the vehicle was stopped. He turns on FSD here, the car starts going, and it arrived to the final destination, parked itself. Everything was taken care of by the car. This technology is going to make so many smart investors massively wealthy. I agree with that. It's sort of becoming commonplace to see a 1 hour FSD drive now from an account that's not Omar, an account that we haven't really seen before that often. And here's someone saying that FSD V13.2 saved me and my family today, not from 1 but 2 collisions. Well, this guy has some bad luck, or should we say good luck, because he has FSD. And here supposedly FSD V13 does a very smart maneuver. I haven't seen it yet, so you'll see my live reaction. Let's see. Oh, this is a bit, it would get stuck normally. Oh, it went through it. Okay, well, with V12, I'm pretty confident I would be stuck on here. Maybe it would try to move, but it would try to move super slowly. Maybe this was a bit fast for my comfort, but it did handle it all right. And this is a fun little clip. The feature is here. This Tesla Model Y just completely navigated a go-kart track on FSD, and it's not even on V13. It's actually running on V12. Now, I would expect even a hardware 3 FSD vehicle to actually navigate this without issues. Although, I'll say this, sometimes when the curves are sharp and very fast, it does go sort of a little bit maybe outside of its own lane, a little bit more than I sometimes feel comfortable. So occasionally I disengage my vehicle when there is a pretty sharp curve, not because it's a safety critical disengagement, it's just because it's too close to the line for my comfort. Now, obviously Elon Musk is going to attend Trump's inauguration, but so will Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. Keep in mind that Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, which before has endorsed liberal presidential candidates, and this last year they didn't endorse anyone, and yet the liberal people, extreme liberal people, some of them that were at Washington Post, had a meltdown, and they didn't even endorse Trump. They just said, no, we are not going to endorse anyone. So these 3 men will likely be sitting at the same table with a combined net worth of almost $1 billion. Oh, and this is actually confirmed now already. The Tesla Model Y refreshed vehicle, one vehicle so far at least for sure, has rolled off the production line at Giga Berlin. So not just in China, but also in Europe, the refresh is now live as in is being produced. At least in Germany, the new Model Y is not available to be ordered yet, but it should be available very, very soon. And we just got the latest sales data from China for Tesla, and we got 7,800 for the previous week, which I would actually consider, under the given circumstances, a good number, because keep in mind that many people know that the refresh Model Y is coming, and so therefore many are now ordering the old one. Although in China, you can actually get both. You can still choose to buy the old but new Model Y, which will of course save you a little bit of money. And even Gary says, this seems to be a good start to the quarter, even with smart Chinese buyers waiting for the Model Y Juniper. And this seems to be rather official now. Before I reported this as a rumor, but Tesla got 50,000 orders in the first 24 hours of the release of the refresh. And just to put this in perspective, 50,000 units would represent just over a month of orders in a single day. Oh, this is making Elon sigh. Here we go again, he says. Tesla snubbed for big rig charging funding again. The Biden administration has denied Tesla's $100 million request to fund the semi-truck charging corridor, marking the third rejection for the project. The funds were part of a $636 million package for EV infrastructure awarded to 49 applicants, but Tesla didn't make the cut. You mean to tell me you're rejecting the company that has proven to be the most efficient at deploying superchargers and charging stations? That's one very easy way to know that the administration has definitely been very biased, and that's on top of many other things. Oh boy, and here we go again with another one. The SEC has sued Elon Musk in federal court over an alleged securities violation, according to a court docket. The SEC alleges Elon committed securities fraud in 2022 by failing to disclose his ownership in Twitter and buying shares at artificially low prices. The lawsuit will likely go nowhere with a new head of the SEC about to come in. So it's not bad news, it's just annoying news. Elon commented on this lawsuit from SEC saying that this is the last gasp of Biden lawfare. Tesla actually just improved the Model Y repairability with a new trunk design by separating the rear trunk lid into two distinct pieces, which is a departure from the previous single piece design. We got a list of 2024 US pure EV sales comparison. Tesla, of course, is number 1, and number 2 is Hyundai with Kia, and number 3 is GM, and only then after that you got Ford. And the Cybertruck was the 5th best-selling EV in the US in 2024, beating the Ford F-150 Lightning, Rivian R1S, and all GM EVs. And just imagine how it feels to be Ford, Rivian, GM, and to have this ugly piece of poop that a 3-year-old could draw outselling their conventional products in its first year of production. It's definitely devastating, just like how Tesla competitors in China might be feeling right now, devastated because they are seeing that the first refresh Model Ys are now coming out. This is important for us Tesla stock investors to know to set expectations correctly. Tesla will suspend part of new Model Y lines in China for upgrades. The suspension could last as many as 3 weeks and will be done around the Chinese New Year, which is a huge and long holiday anime. So the impact of this will be relatively minimal. The shutdown will begin on January 22nd and will last until February 14th. And remember, this is not every single line or all of the production, it's just part of the production. This is to better optimize the production lines. Tesla is about to enter a new market, the market of Saudi Arabia. That's interesting. It will happen within months. Just now, Elon Musk launched its standalone Grok website, and the Starship rocket was supposed to launch today, but it was just postponed by one more day in hopes for better weather. Today, Tesla stock is having a great day. It is up a lot. My name is Matt Poxius. I believe that Tesla stock is going to $1,000 per share, and then after that, well above it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again probably on Friday.